Hi there, hope you're doing well today. Let's get started. Well, today's lesson we cover Unit 8, Industry and Services, Lesson 5, Industry in the UK and the USA. Well, before we start our lesson, I have one moral story about the 4 smart students story. One night, 4 college students were out partying late night and didn't study for the test which was scheduled for the next day. In the morning, they thought of a plan. They made themselves look dirty with grease and dirt. Then they went to the dean and said they had gone out to a wedding party, and on their way back home, the tire of the car burst and they had to push the car all the way back. So they were in no condition to take the test. The dean thought for a minute and said, they can have the retest after 3 days. They thanked him and said they'll be ready by that time. They appeared before the dean, and dean said, as this was a special condition test, you all were required to sit in separate classrooms. They all agreed because they all had prepared for the test well. The test only consists of 2 questions. First one, your name, 1 point, and which tire burst, 99 points. So, options, front left, front right, back left, and back right. Well, moral of the story, take responsibility or you will learn your lesson. The dean shows students how to take responsibility and learn their lesson. Well, I hope you all take your responsibility and study your lesson today. Let's get started. Well, interesting facts about English. Well, over 1 billion people speak English. That's only 1 in every 7 on Earth. Time, the most commonly used noun in English. Did you know? The longest 1-syllable word in the English language is screeched. Yes, that's homework time. Checking your homework. Well, last time you were given a table to fill up, right? So there are 2 columns, places, the cities in the UK, and then industries. Well, here you can see the answers, and your all answers are here in the second column, are in the second column. Well, except one thing. Here you can see tourism industry is not given, so you can add here tourism, as London is famous for its touristic destinations. So I'll give you a second to take a picture of it and check your homework, okay? Well, thank you. Next one, Lesson 5. This is the continuation of Lesson 5, Industry in the UK and the USA. Well, of course, when you talk about business, economy, or industry, you should use vocabulary relating to these business, right? Business, industry, or business, topics about business. Well, of course, we have a table given number of vocabulary relating to business. Well, business English vocabulary. First one, trademark, name or a symbol. You choose one symbol or name for your company, for a new company when you open it, and it cannot be used without permission. Market research. This information is collected about what products or services people want to use or buy and why. Brand, a product made or sold by a particularly company. For example, you choose one product made by this famous company. Product, item, something that is made or grown to be sold, often in large quantities. Launch, the introduction of a new product or service for sale to the public. For example, when you start your own business, you should choose one unique product which is not sold to the public, for example. Consumer, a person who buys products or services. People who buy or clients. Wholesaler is a person who buys large amount of products from businesses or companies. Deficit, the total amount by which money spent is more than one received. Commodity, a substance or a primary product that can be traded or bought and sold usually in large quantities. Inflation, an increase in the prices of goods and services over time causing a reduction in the value of money. Well, next one, business vocabulary. Lucrative, this word is a total amount by which money spent is more than money received. Earning, the total amount of money you earn or you make from the job you do. Merger, the joining of two or more companies to make one larger company. Annual, happening once a year. Wage, is the money that someone is paid every week. Not every month, but every week. Pay attention to this word. By their company. Billboard, this is a signboard for advertising posters. Important things about company or products. Scarcity, very small supply of resources, lack of something. And last one, biennial, happening twice a year. Annual, happening once a year, and biennial, happening twice a year. Well, GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. Well, this is an abbreviation. Abbreviation is a short form of a word or a phrase, such as the USA stands for United States of America, the UK, the United Kingdom, and the UAE, United Arab Emirates. GDP, this is the definition of GDP. Gross Domestic Product is the market value of all finished goods. All finished goods, pay attention to these highlighted words, finished goods and services. In this video, you will watch what does GDP mean, and this video gives you more information or clear information about GDP, Gross Domestic Product. Well, let's watch.
Let's look more closely at some of the details. Notice that we said GDP is the market value of all finished goods and services. A finished good or service is one that will not be sold again as part of some other good. When a bakery buys flour, eggs, and butter, we don't count these sales in GDP because these goods aren't finished. They are intermediate goods that when combined will become a finished good, a cake, for example. But if a consumer buys an egg to make an omelet, the egg is a finished good because it won't be sold again as part of some other good. In other words, our GDP supermarket is like a real supermarket. At the GDP register, we ring up the eggs sold to consumers and the cakes, but we don't ring up the eggs the baker used to make the cake. There are also goods that are used to make other goods but are still considered finished goods. These are called capital goods. If Caterpillar produces a tractor and sells it to a farm, the tractor is considered a finished good. The tractor is finished and its value is added to the GDP. Although the tractor is used to make other goods, it won't be sold again as part of another good. So the tractor is still a finished good. The GDP is the market value of all finished goods and services produced within a country in a year. GDP only counts production. If an old house is sold this year, that doesn't add to GDP since the house wasn't produced this year. Only the sale of new houses add to GDP. GDP also only counts goods and services produced within a country. If you buy a bottle of wine imported from France, that adds to France's GDP, not to US GDP. On the other hand, a computer produced in the United States and exported to France adds to the US GDP.
Well, so have you got any idea or definition about GDP clearly? Well, if yes, GDP by sectors. Here you can see Uzbekistan, UK and USA GDP by sectors. The numbers tells you that Uzbekistan in agriculture got 17.9% GDP, industry 33.7%, and services, which is more than other sectors, 48.5%, estimated 2017. And where UK GDP in agriculture 0.6%, industry 19.2%, services 80.2%, which is more than other sectors, which is estimated in 2017. And however, US GDP in agriculture 0.92%, industry GDP 18.21%, services 77.37%, which is estimated in 2017. Well, it's your favorite time. Yes, you're right, homework. Well, your homework is going to be the same table which I gave you. I'll give you a second to take a picture of the screen and learn these words by heart, okay? Well, here you are. And another table. Have you taken? Thank you for your time. Goodbye.